Brock Purdy gets concussed at the end of the Monday night game. It looks like it's going to be Sam Darnold. Is there some unwritten change, unannounced change as to the way the NFL is handling concussions, where you get concussed in 1 week, you are out for the next week? There's still a protocol to go through, but there does appear to be no chance of any player coming back the very next week after they've been put into the concussion protocol.
There have been a few this year of guys who have been in the protocol and come back and played the following week. It's definitely a lower percentage than we've probably seen in years past. Brock Purdy was limited yesterday, which means he's already, I believe, at the fourth step in the concussion protocol. So there's a chance. We'll see what he does today. You need to get him to full participation, then get him out there. I think that more than anything, we sit back and look at this, and a lot of teams sit back and look at this and say, is it worth it? Is it worth it to put the guy out the week after? Because of, Tua last year, even though obviously the Dolphins, there was an investigation and it was a back injury and all those things. But we on the outside look at it and just say it put him, he ended up in a difficult position.
Yeah, say the least.
You have, other situations. Kenny Pickett last year had 2 concussions in a very short period of time. I think that more than anything, there is a protocol. Everything has to go. An independent neurologist has to clear you. This is not team doctors willy-nilly making competitive decisions. But at some point, it's okay, yeah, you're cleared, but do we really want to do it? Because if you get 2 concussions in a very short period of time, 6-7 days apart, we know you're missing a month. At that point now, you are missing a long period of time, and it can be dangerous for you. Again, I would fully anticipate Brock Purdy is going to push to do everything that he can. The doctors are going to do the right thing, and the 49ers are going to have to make decisions. And if Brock Purdy ends up out there on Sunday against the Bengals, which, as you mentioned, would be a relatively rare occurrence here, it's because every single box got checked. With Purdy, too, it's a shorter week because it happened on Monday Night Football. You go back and you watch the play where my understanding is it was believed to happen on the first of the 2 consecutive sneaks.
Right.
He had the overhead angle. Jordan Hicks comes in.
Oh, my goodness.
I don't think it's a dirty play. It's just the reality of, we talk about the tush, push, brotherly shove, whatever. It's like, well, right. There's times, though, where that can be a dangerous play, and he gets, torpedoed in the head.
Yeah.
Throws 2 interceptions after that, uncharacteristic mistakes, doesn't feel well after the game, and ends up in the concussion protocol. You look at those types of situations, and I think that they're being evaluated as thoroughly as they ever have. And you just want to make sure that you're not putting somebody in a position where, forget about the competitive stuff, because you are losing the guy. If a guy has 2 concussions back to back, that's a month. Generally speaking, that's an IR type situation, but it's also long-term health of Brock Purdy, long-term stability at the quarterback position. Is it the right thing for us to put him out there? Those will all be conversations they have this week, and the conversations don't even have a chance to take place if the independent doctor doesn't clear.
Right, and this is why you traded Trey Lance away, because you believed Darnold is the man of the moment in these types of situations.
You beat him out.
And I fully expect to see Darnold out there, and I expect him to perform well. That's what my expectation level is, because that's just the way, I think things work there in San Francisco.
Well, and if Sam Darnold comes out and they beat the Bengals with him at quarterback,
he's going there, Chris.
You're going to have your overreaction segment on Monday. I watched the show. You're going to have a lot of. You're gonna have a lot of fun with that.
I already have it typed out. It's already in my document. First
there.
One. Ready
Listen,
to go.
Brock Purdy's played at an off-the-charts level. Forget being the Mr. Irrelevant last pick in the draft. Just as a quarterback, he's played unbelievably. So it's not fair to him to say you miss a game.
Of course.
And now we should be talking about someone else. But don't think that somewhere in the back of his head, there's not hey, I got to do everything to be out there, because it's just like, for years with Brett Favre in Green Bay. He got the job because Don Majkowski got knocked out of a game in 1992. And Favre, who had been at the Falcons in 91, he goes to Green Bay. It's week 4, I think. And nobody's, thinking about him, even though they gave up a first-round pick to get him. And Majkowski gets knocked out. Favre goes in. Everybody talked about Favre played, 270 consecutive games, whatever it was. One of the driving forces through his entire career was, if I miss this game, somebody might do the same thing to me. If I miss a snap, somebody else is coming in. And that's where he played with a broken thumb, and he played through all kinds of different ailments. What happens in 2007, they're in the midst of a run to the NFC Championship game. He gets knocked out of a game in Dallas. Aaron Rodgers comes in, looks pretty good for 2.5 quarters, and they moved on from him after the season. There is something to it. This isn't an ankle. This isn't an ACL.
Right.
Brock Purdy can't push through this, but the psychology of these guys, especially the ones who didn't have an opportunity and they got it for a reason. In Brock Purdy's case, because multiple quarterbacks got hurt,
right?
Those guys want to find a way to be on the field. It's just the reality of how the NFL works.
And Burrow is 100% in the 90 seconds we have left. He says he's 100%.
It certainly seems like. I mean, that was the best he had looked, and the best he said he's felt going into the bye. A calf's not going to heal with 1 week off. You really need a month. But he tried it for a month in camp and then did it again. So it's going to be a thing that he's going to be going through the rest of the season, but he is in better shape than he's been throughout this entire time.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.